You guys got to make sure that you guys are your best, okay? Don't let me...
Stare at your camera. Remember to look into your camera when you
Yeah,
talk.
don't look at yourself.
I do enough of that, so it'll be easy for me to just look into the camera. But anyway, welcome to episode number 1 of the Old Men of... The long-awaited
Yeah.
Old Men of OpTic podcast.
We're back.
Your hosts are going to be all 4 of us, all right? So it's going to be... Obviously, you're going to look at me and say, oh, you're the guy, you're it. And then somebody's going to look at Hutch and say, well, Hutch is actually it. But then somebody's going to be a Jay. Jay's the captain of the USS Friendship, so maybe he's it. And then
I'm
Diesel's
not
going
doing
to be...
any work for the
Yeah.
record. Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out who deemed him captain. It blows my mind. but
Everybody.
For
the
an
world.
Well, it's like,
Well-
who labeled me the 37-year-old phenom? Myself.
You.
Yeah.
You. Only you,
Yeah.
actually.
Only me. But it caught on. What do you want me to say? Anyway, let's get right into it. Anybody want to do an explanation? Yes.
Before we get into it, I want to say something real quick. During these podcasts, I think we should announce who the MVP of the current season is. So when we're all,
Yeah.
you think I'm kidding, but I'm just saying.
No, I just like the way you say it. I know you're dead serious.
I
Just
think
the way you
that-
said it is beautiful.
I think that whoever has that honor at the time should be given that honor and that respect from his teammates. But you know what? Let's just we'll shelve it. We'll table that one. We'll come back to it later.
let's shit it. I mean, shelve it.
Definitely.
You know, it's just
Definitely.
Yeah.
We got a sponsor thing.
Oh,
Don't we,
man.
Hector?
We do. We
do.
did a sponsored event for Oculus and DreamHack. It was the first time. I think it was the second time that us as a group did something together as the Old Men of OpTic team. The first one was in MLG
Vegas.
I believe. Yeah, MLG
Yeah.
Vegas.
Last
We
year.
did, and that was just us doing our thing. You know, that was just us trying to play against the crowd. And the main reason that we started this little segment of us going places together is because we're missing out on playing Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare Remastered, and we said, why don't we just take the show on the road, continue, us playing together, and let's play against the crowd, and that's where it all began. But from that, Jay,
Also
why don't you
money.
walk us through what happened? Also
yeah,
money.
So,
Yes.
yeah, that's right. It's usually what accompanies it. So we all went to DreamHack. It was a good time. We had our fair share of hot barbecue, right? Or tacos, right? Remember
No,
the
we
fire
didn't have
tacos,
hot
Raj?
barbecue. We walked, and it was
Yeah.
closed because everything in Austin closes
Oh,
at 9
man,
o'clock
that
at night.
sucks. At least we saw the
It's
bat.
ridiculous. How do you live in Austin? How do you live with yourselves
You
in
can't
Austin?
buy what? You said you can't buy alcohol after what time?
9.
You
9.
can't buy liquor after 9.
Well,
Or barbecue.
You can't-
What? That's a world I don't want to live
Well,
in.
for
But wait,
clarity,
you can-
though,
you
you
can
can
buy
go out-
you can buy beer and wine past 9 until 1 a.m.
Yeah.
But you
Okay.
can't buy any alcohol on Sunday.
Right. So to be clear, you can't buy a bottle of alcohol. You can order it from a bar. Like you can go to a bar and order like mixed drinks
That's
or
right.
shots.
No
But
no liquor. I'm saying
No.
like hard liquor after 9.
at bars you
You're
can
out
though.
of You're out of your
Oh,
mind. 'cause-
you're right. You're right. Yeah.
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 So I was drinking a pitcher of Jack
Yeah.
Daniels at
But you
1
can't go
o'clock at
into
night.
a liquor store and buy like
Correct.
Jameson, for example, at 9:30 p.m.
right.
Yes. I don't know why. I had a theory that it was because it's on the Bible Belt, and I don't know whether or not that's. If it isn't on the Bible Belt, I said that Texas was the belt buckle of the Bible Belt, and that's one of the many reasons why they don't allow you to buy alcohol at that.
Texas.
Is it? I don't know why. What's the rule? I mean, if you're from Texas and know the answer to this, please leave a comment down below because I literally
No, it's
to this-
absolutely
It's just different
because of,
states, bro.
no, it's
I
absolutely
think
because
it's
it's like you don't want
religion-based.
to. Yes, 100%.
Yeah, that's what I'm going with. Yeah.
Jay, do you have
They're not
anything to
the only
say?
state that does that too.
Jay, do you have anything to say?
That's our
No, I
resident.
know. I didn't even know. I didn't know until I got there.
Yeah.
So.
It's
Yeah.
super weird.
Anyway,
Now,
so
in terms
yeah, go
of
ahead.
the actual sponsorship of the event, so we went out there with Oculus Rift, and it was to host their booth, take over their social profiles, and of course for us to play in a tournament against each other. And I think that was the first time any of us have tried the Unspoken VR. That was my
100%
actual
first time. Yep.
yeah. So it was
Yeah,
fun.
So that was the name of the game that they were featuring at the booth, and it's basically just like a magic missiles type of game. It's PvP 1v1 for now, although they had discussed
Yeah.
Potentially adding 2v2 or 3v3.
It's like Doctor
Yep.
Strange. That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
basically you cast spells, and some of them are defensive spells, some of them are offensive spells, and you can teleport to different platforms that are on your side, but your
Yeah.
opponent can teleport in between different platforms on their side, and different characters have different special abilities. It ended up being like, man, we have come a long way since the days of like the Wii. You remember
Yeah.
the Wii, like
Yes.
the intricate motions that you had to do in certain games, and it would never register it
Yeah.
correctly.
Yeah.
I did not have
Totally.
that experience at all.
Or the
And
VR.
it's not that the Wii was
what is it?
terrible either.
VR
It
boy.
was
What
just-
was that thing called? It sat on
Virtual,
your-
Virtual Boy. I had one of
where it
those.
burned your retinas.
I had one of those.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We've come
Oh,
a little.
man.
yeah,
Is
we've
that
come a
why?
little bit of
Is
a
that
way.
why you can't see some players sometimes when you're sniping, or is there another reason for that?
No.
It's too early. Too early. So
I'm not gonna
I,
be upset as long as you address me with my proper MVP title before you say my name. So MVP Hutch, if you could refer to me as that.
I don't know. I said I would give you a week after clutching what you clutched, but I will say this though. I played the Unspoken once before, about 6 months ago in ESL New York. I played it for about 10 minutes. I just wanted to make it a quick little thing about the vlog, and the people that were there were like, "Hey, is it okay if I send you like an Oculus?" And I said, "Yeah, send me an Oculus for sure." It was literally nothing. I just said, "I'm like, hey, can I try this out? I'll put it in my vlog so I can have content for it." And they ended up sending me one. Unfortunately, the one they sent me wasn't like the complete package for the Unspoken game. So I just have like
Was it just like a demo version?
It
or
didn't
something?
have didn't have the touch. Did not have the controllers with it.
it had an Xbox controller, but it didn't have like the nunchucks that
The
so
touch, the
Oh,
two-
so you
the
couldn't
new
really
touch
feel like you're-
controllers.
no.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how you could play that with.
You can't, and I don't see myself playing anything else besides the Unspoken because it was good. And if we would have played on the same platforms we were playing, like I was moving my hands over my shoulders to teleport, and I already knew where like certain platforms were, so it was really seamless for me to just like point at it without like turning my head to a platform and then pointing at it. I just pointed, pressed, and then that's when I was able to like that. But when we started moving around, I didn't know the maps as well, and that's why I lost, and I should have won.
I don't think that's why you lost. I don't even think it's close.
I was
to
pretty great at that game.
No, you were not.
Yeah.
You came in like fifth, and there was only 4 of us playing.
Yeah, it
You
didn't go well for me.
terrible. That was
I
not.
don't know
I was
why.
convinced that you were gonna just come out like a wunderkind. Just
Yeah.
get it.
I
Just
think
get it.
I was overthinking it too much. I was trying to put strategy into it instead of just,
I have a theory. I have a theory.
Well,
I,
maybe find a little strategy.
Let's hear it. Let's hear the
I have
theory.
a theory, and I'm gonna tell you guys something that I did while in the tournament. You're gonna be like, "Damn, you cheater!" All right, so I think that the reason that you weren't as good is because you're too tall and too big. So your motions weren't as captivated by the sensors as much as Jay or mine were, because we were literally within the margin of capture, right? Because they even told me, it's like, you need to step a little bit forward because you're not that tall. And I was like, what?
Logic doesn't check out though, because I won the
No,
event.
not at
I
all.
was I'm pretty.
Yeah,
tall.
but you
you're
may have
the
been
most
sta- you
narrow
may have been
person in the world.
standing.
You
Yeah,
can't stand outside of the circle.
you may have been in just the right place though, Hutch, because they told me step forward, and then they told Mike step back a little bit more because you're not in the camera. Now we're talking about the camera that was capturing his body, and not they weren't focused on what was capturing his movements. So there may have been something, because
I have to go back and look at the tape because they sent us all the tape. So
Yeah.
we
No, you were
I
out.
wonder-
You were out of the
I
frame.
wonder if I see myself step out and backwards like a little too far or something. I don't know. I don't know how much I was moving. Actually.
I think you just sucked.
Me
that's just
too. I
right.
think you just got
I know I
absolutely
didn't.
destroyed.
What do you think?
It didn't go well, but I
Jay-
remember trying to block your shots, Jay, and you throwing everything underneath my
I was
shield.
biting your ankles.
and
Huh?
it was complete. It's complete.
Yeah,
No,
but
it
see,
is.
just because you're tall doesn't mean that the character in there is going to be as tall, though.
No,
And
it absolutely was the
Yeah.
case, because that
Yeah.
was happening to me too. Like Jay kept on hitting me in my shins.
now,
with his
Jay,
little
did you
ma-
pick small
magic
hands
missiles.
or large hands?
Small hands.
So I did that too. I did that
I did large
afterwards.
hands. I went large hands.
I did. As soon as I realized what was happening, I went with small, trying to trick it, and it didn't work. It's like it's like the same. I think it's like more of a placebo thing. Like when Call of Duty
Yeah.
players pick like
Yeah,
like a woman with a smaller body, or the robot in Infinite War. I haven't played it, so I don't know. But they pick the robot, and it's a smaller hitbox because the robot, it's literally like super thin. It looks exactly like Hutch almost, but without
are you-
skin.
Are you making the argument that the controls are tighter for individuals of a smaller stature, basically?
I don't know. I'm not making any
I
point. I'm
think
just
it's easier for people that are shorter in that game.
Yeah.
That's just.
But Hutch, like at the last one, actually, Hutch, when we played in the final round where you got lucky and beat me, what was your health at?
For one of the rounds, it was literally 0.
You were you became a legend and you like saw numbers because you 2 or 3 rounds you were one shot and you somehow were able to knock Hex and Jay I think out.
Who beat me
With
the first
0.
round? Was it Jay?
Me.
So Jay beat me, and then I beat Mike, then I beat Hector, then I beat Jay. I think it was.
Nice try.
I only played 2 people. I don't think I
Well,
ever played you, Hutch.
Because I think when you lost
No, we
twice, it
played.
was over.
I played
Oh,
Hex
that's
and
right,
Jay,
yeah.
and then I was already lost the 2
Oh, yeah.
games, and so I didn't have to play you
Yeah.
because there was nothing.
I played you first, Mike.
You know what? The other thing that was happening to me is that I would go to like the main menu in the middle of a gunfight or in the middle of like a something.
I
I
did
would
that,
go
yeah.
to like the main
Yeah, your thumb
screen.
would slip off because they had like
Yeah.
the little guide button near the A
Yeah.
button.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then I would be like, how do I get back? And by the time I was back, I was already like lost. So
I
that's
did-
why I lost.
Apart from that happening, I really did like those controls though. Those are
They're
some
solid.
really
They're really
good.
tight.
Yeah. I
So,
kept
hey,
hitting
when
the
you're
wrong
pressing-
triggers at one point though too.
When you're pressing that
fun.
fireball, do you have to move your arm forward? Because I kept doing the forward motion, or can you just let go of the trigger?
No, you have to.
No, you have to throw it.
You have
Yeah.
to throw it.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Well,
that's
the
why
only one you
sometimes
don't
like,
have to
sometimes
move
just
is
fly
like the blackjack, which apparently just winds it up. and
Yeah,
you
it's
can
like
let it go.
it's like a bow and
like a
arrow.
bow
You
and
just you just pull back. I will say this though, one of my favorite spells to cast was the one where you summon like the
Reaper?
Venus flytraps. No, where you like
Oh,
where you
Oh,
do
the
the
Cthulhu, I
path
think is what they
where
call
you
them.
write something.
Pretty sure.
Oh,
they call
yeah.
it Cthulhu.
Yeah.
The
It was
Cthulhu.
Yeah.
Yep, the
Yeah, yeah.
Cthulhu.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Yeah, those are
Yeah, that-
good, but it just appeared on random platforms too. So if you didn't get it on the first one, it was pretty easy.
I
You
thought
could
it
defend
appeared on
against it
everyone
and
that
just
you
say-
were not on.
Yeah.
I thought that's what it did.
Yeah,
And you
yeah,
could,
that's
it
what it
appeared
was.
on everyone that you
Oh,
were not
really?
on, but you could
It would
shoot it
lock
with
you
like
down into the platform that you were
you could
standing
shoot
on.
it with like a fireball, 2 fireballs, and it would knock it off your platform though. So
Did you
as long
guys
as you
get
did
your-
that, you could.
Well, no, you could get trapped in it because that's how I beat Hutch the very first time on the first day.
But Hutch teleported into
Well,
it.
yeah, I
that's why.
teleported to it.
Ah,
I didn't
gotcha.
But
realize
you
I
can
was
teleport out of it as well.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
you still
yeah.
get chunked for like 25.
Did you
It's
guys
on
get?
cooldown.
Yeah.
Did you guys get an Oculus? So
I
Hector
did.
has one. I got
Yeah.
one. Jay,
I-
I think you got one, right?
I
Yeah,
haven't
that
got I haven't gotten the one that they're supposed to send me. I got the one from the first event, but I don't have the one that you guys have, which has
That
the
might be an
nunchucks.
earlier model. That might,
Yeah.
that one might be heavier
You'll
or something.
probably get it next week because I think they all came out from the West Coast,
Mhm.
and that's why Jay, Hutch, and I have all
Got
got
them
ours
already. I mean, they deliver
It's
stuff on
great.
Saturday. I mean, I'm waiting
yeah,
for.
you could get it
for
today. It
stuff
was just
now.
waiting at my door. I didn't have to
Wait
sign for
outside.
it, so
haven't set
it
it
could
up
be
yet.
just it should be
I'll set
just
that up
outside.
soon.
We should do another unspoken
I
VR
would be
tournament
down
for
for that.
stream.
If
That'd be really fun.
if anything else, what I'm walking away from this personally, as a person, is that I should give other games a chance because I truly did have a good time playing it. Anything that's competitive is
Yeah.
gonna get me like it's gonna give me that little like zap that makes me be like, ooh, I want more.
Mhm.
And this
Definitely.
game was that because even after like we played for like the 2 hours that we're playing, even after that, I was like, man, I wish I could go back and practice more because there's like I don't want them to beat me. But if I ever have
Yeah.
that mentality where like I want to practice more, or I want to practice period, like I know that I'm enjoying it because I wouldn't
It's-
just.
It's a word that's used a lot. It's a buzzword. You hear it a lot. Like it's particularly at trade shows by like PR agents and stuff like that. But it was immersive. So like as soon as you put, I mean it's self-explanatory because it's VR. But
Right.
as soon as you put the headset on, you like all of your attention is focused on what you're doing. Whereas like if you're playing video games on a monitor or something like that, maybe your girlfriend walks in the room or maybe your pet's doing something
Yeah.
off on the side. You're not fully in it. But then like as soon as you put those goggles on,
Yeah.
or the headset on, I really enjoyed my time within that virtual space, and I wanted to keep playing. Like I was kind of afraid that we were going to show up and the game would just sort of be okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like a Wii Sports demo, but
Yeah.
I ended up wanting to play more.
The
The good thing, and the Oculus is comfortable.
yeah.
Very
Did,
comfortable.
did
Like,
you?
I didn't find it like I've used other headsets and I take it off and my face is all sweaty. I got like these the goggle lines around my face like I was just snowboarding for like hours, and it's super just like it's really uncomfortable after a while. You really don't want to kind of get into it and do it. That was a lot of fun.
My concern
Yeah.
though is, what got me thinking about this is the fact that every single time you were done with your match and you took your headset off, the assistants or the person that was there said, "Welcome back," right?
Mhm.
And they said it every single time you took it off. And I kept on thinking
Yeah.
to myself, I'm like, "There's no. I mean, I know like it's that, but do
It's
they
gotta
have
feel-
to say
I know
that?"
exactly what you're
It's kinda-
saying.
yeah, probably. It's kind of like a Disney thing. You know how
I'm
they
sure
do
they
it.
were
It's like
instructed to say
yeah.
that every
It's like
time
a-
that someone
it's like
took
they're
the helmet off.
casted. Yeah. It's like
Yeah, but what I'm
that's
saying is that
awesome.
have they found
Add
in
to the
studies,
immersion.
and then maybe I'm getting too deep into here. Like, have they
I think
found
you're way
studies
too deep.
where people have been like, "Holy shit, wait, am I back or am I still in there?" Because I really did feel like it was unnecessary, but I guess that if
It
you
ma-
played it for like that long of a time, it
I didn't find the
May need it.
transition from having the headset on to having it off like too jarring.
Mm-mm.
Like
Yeah.
it's a little kind of like the natural or the light in the room was, I felt a little intense when I would take the
Yeah.
headset off for like maybe 5 seconds, and then it wasn't like I didn't have like vertigo or anything.
Mm-mm.
Did you
Um,
guys get any type of anxiety by looking over the edge when you first put it on,
No,
thinking
I
that you would
loved it.
eventually fall?
I
no,
loved it.
uh,
Not
no,
like freaked out, like I'm gonna die, but it definitely made it feel as
Yeah,
if I could
get your
fall
heart-
off.
Gets your heart
Yeah,
beating. a
and
little
I
bit, for
locked my
sure.
legs. I think we keep talking about how the bed made
Yeah.
us sore. I think part of it was me locking my muscles so tight because of that weird. It was pulling
yeah,
the trigger.
like I was bending my body to look over the edge when I could have literally just walked off the edge and been
Right,
okay.
right.
But I was
Yeah.
like inching towards it and like far away to where I was safe, and I was looking down, and I caught myself doing it. I'm like, man, I know this is not real. Why don't you just like jump off that cliff?
I mean, you're
Right.
definitely doing motions that we don't typically do on a day to day. So
Yeah.
it could be just
Yeah.
be small little things. I mean, there's been like articles of people losing a ton of weight with new VR things. So
So let me
it's,
ask you.
it's definitely possible that that's all it was.
Let me ask you one last question here on this topic.
Mhm.
There was a conversation that came up with one of the casters of the event that said, "Do you?" He asked if this is where he thinks esports is going to go somewhere in the future,
Mhm.
and we kind of like just played it off a little bit. It's fun to speculate like that. There's obviously a lot of changes that need to play. You need to be someone. I don't know if it's going to be a full blown helmet. You need to be in a safer environment. But what would esports look like down the
So-
road with this technology?
It's not going to be. So I think there are going to obviously be esports in this space, but it's not going to. It's not going to be. It's. I'm going to view. I'm going to view it like a separate market.
Mhm.
So like you're going to have your console esports over here, your PC esports over here, and then you're going to have maybe some VR events over here. I think the technology would have to become like it would have to be less prohibitive because right now it's a little
Yeah,
pricey.
Yeah, and you're strapped
but-
down by cables and stuff
And
like
you're strapped
that.
down
as
by
well.
cables. Yeah, as soon as they get it so
Right.
that it's cheap and that you're just wearing like literally sunglasses and everything's projected onto that,
Yeah.
then I think maybe you might see it bleed over. I mean, that's gonna happen in our lifetime for sure. But
Have you
I don't
seen
know
the?
when, I don't know when,
It's
when
like
that's gonna
they
happen.
they make like a map, and you're wearing the headset. And it's like if you're, it looks like you're playing on a multiplayer map, but you're actually walking around
Mhm.
through
Yeah.
through an actual like warehouse and
No,
playing
no,
against
that's
each other
kinda
like a
cool.
shooter. Yeah. So that's like one concept that people are seeing where I could see maybe something like that being something.
That's a
but-
lot of space
Have-
to rent out
but
for just like
that's-
Yeah,
one person.
have
though,
you-
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they do have those like those what do you call it? They're like rollers that you walk on, and it's just like being on a treadmill,
Yes.
but multi-directional.
Yeah, I've seen that thing.
Have you guys tried to play Call of Duty like in VR? I saw
No.
T Martin do it,
No.
but I wonder if that like if that if that's exactly what it would feel like, right? You
Wait,
still
do
move.
they have it on
Do you feel like
PlayStation
do
VR?
you feel like that would get the whole argument of video games being a sport, this and that, is there's not the physical activity
Yeah.
involved? Would that be the
No,
thing
I
that
don't- I
bridges
don't
that
think-
gap because there's now physical activity involved?
Can you
No.
you say
can't just
that?
be anybody. You couldn't get on there, Hutch, and play a full 15-minute game wearing equipment and doing shit without like you have to be. None of us here could. Like,
Whoa,
I could- I can
shit,
for
shit,
sure.
well,
shit.
I mean,
But
15
no,
minutes,
that's not
3
why
maps, you wouldn't
I
be able
don't
to
wanna-
do like the physical activity side of things.
There's some games that I don't want to exert a whole lot of physical energy playing, so I just don't think that that's ever gonna take
Yeah.
the place of console esports.
Yeah, the thing is this, like, and obviously I'm only bringing this up because there's like they continue to say like I don't want it, like who was it that was just arguing on ESPN?
Was that
I
an
think?
ESPN? Yeah. I
Yeah,
don't
they were
know the
arguing
other
about
guy's
what
name.
athletes like. I've been saying this for years, man, and this is a conversation that I had with Sundance, Sundance Giovanni, co-founder of MLG, like in 2011. I'm like, can you imagine how much easier it would have been for us if we would have never labeled it esports and it was just competitive gaming and not had to. The second you say esports, immediately you hear sports and the jocks immediately say, well, there's no physical activity, right? Imagine if it was just competitive gaming. And that's what it was left at, right? At that point, you're not invading
mean-
sports, you're not invading the thoughts of physical exertion or activity, and at that point, it's just like, all right, it's competitive gaming, and then eventually maybe
It's just-
mutated to esports, but
It's just the growing pains of the market, though, because in 10 years, people aren't gonna
Yeah.
You really don't even, you see it, you turn on the TV now, you see a CSGO game or something like that. And
Right.
nobody that I know bats an eye. And I'll bet you enough people have seen them at this point to not feel like, I don't know why people would feel threatened in the first place. I think the whole thing is really silly, but
Well,
and at one point,
is the
a lot
changing
of
of
the
the guard.
sports that are in a lot of at one time, like a lot of the sports in X Games were not labeled a sport. Like it's
Sure,
not a
yeah,
sport. This
exactly.
is you're just riding a motorcycle and doing a flip. Like
Yeah, it's a
that's
good-
not a sport.
Well, I mean, to
you know?
be fair, to be fair to those guys, to the
But
X
they,
Games
no, I'm
guys,
saying they had
that's
to go
like
through the
1,000
same thing
pounds
of
that
like,
they're flipping
yeah,
stuff.
but what I'm saying, they had to go through the same, thing of trying to tell people, hey, this is a sport. Look at what this is. Look at the things that have to be done. But at a point, it's like this isn't a sport. You're just riding a motorcycle and doing a flip.
Yeah, but
we
for
wanna,
me, it's more
do we
like
wanna
it.
talk about the,
For me, it's more from a competitive standpoint. Okay, from a competitive standpoint, it's a sport. From a physical exertion type thing, I mean, I don't know. Is racing a sport? You're sitting there pushing a pedal and moving your hands. I mean, you are going 250 miles an hour, so I guess that machine needs to be controlled somehow. But again, if it would have just been competitive gaming, we would be so much like further along that we could have been like, hey, let's just call it esports, electronic sports, and it would have been a lot easier.
it takes the same, not the same amount, like it differs from sport to sport, but just like basketball, if you play in esports, it requires focus, it requires concentration, it requires critical thought and strategy and
problem
planning,
solving.
Reaction,
Hand-eye
hand-eye.
coordination.
Yeah.
reaction time. It involves the same sort of thing. So who gives a crap if it's just
Preaching.
people that are still throwing a fit about that, or I think they're a dying breed. They're not gonna,
Yeah.
they're not gonna,
Love labels.
people are gonna be saying the same things in like 10 years.
Correct.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
We want to talk about our ranking of the CODs.
Yeah.
Shall we move along?
We
Yeah.
should. Who wants to start? All right. Should I just go through the list of all of them and then just
Do we
go?
want to rank them, or do we want to just talk about each one? Like start at COD 2 and then just talk about our experience.
I feel
with
like each
game.
one of us should give our top 3 and our bottom 3, and then
Top 3,
Okay.
bottom 3.
yeah.
How about this? How about we talk about our top 3 and talk about our bottom 3, but we mention the ones in between.
Okay.
Yeah, totally.
All right, but
we'll
just
give homage to all of them.
yeah, we'll give homage to all of them, but we're gonna talk about. I'm just gonna throw them out there, a list of them. Call of Duty 2, okay, Call of Duty 3, and then after that came Modern Warfare, Call of Duty Modern Warfare. After that came World at War. After that came Modern Warfare 3. Am I right?
Yep.
2.
Then Black Ops 1. Modern Warfare 2. Then Black Ops 1.
Right.
Then Modern Warfare 3.
Yep.
Yep.
Then Black Ops 2. Then Ghosts, Advanced Warfare, and then
Black Ops 3.
Black Ops 3 and
Black
Infinite.
Ops, yep.
And then Infinite and slash. Oh, now when we talk about Call of Duty 4, I don't want to separate them from 4 to remastered. It's just one game.
The
That
same
just
thing.
It's all the
same
same
thing.
game.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
This one's prettier now.
Right.
Yeah. Because as I'm looking at the list here, they have it listed twice, and I'm just like, come on, be serious. It's the same.
No.
So it's
Same
just
game.
remastered, right?
I forgot about Ghost. I had to list it in there.
All right, who wants
I'm
to be
gonna
the
say,
brave
I don't,
soul?
I don't think COD 3 should be on that list. We were talking about that before the podcast a little bit, but I don't even think it should be.
It's not in my top 10.
Activision hit up Treyarch. They're like, look, you got 9 months to make a game. It doesn't play anything. It doesn't feel like Call of Duty. It doesn't look like Call of Duty. It's just, it feels totally different.
I'm considering it
So
as 100% a game because I know for Jay, Hex, and I, we were playing COD 2, I think, for a year and a half at that point, and we were all excited for
Yeah.
Call of Duty 3.
Yeah.
We were
Yeah, but
all
then when it
hyped.
came-
We
but
all
then
went
when it
out,
came
bought
out-
it. We played it for about a week and a half and said nope.
I played
and
it
we
for
all-
15 minutes.
Everybody
Yeah.
sold it, and everybody went back to COD 2 until COD 4 came out.
yeah,
So
that's
it
why I
is an
don't think it
actual
should
game.
count, 'cause
It should count.
It's like a
They
fluke.
no,
It's like a
it should
accident.
count.
Hey,
It should
listen,
count.
Mike, if you don't want to count it, or if you want to count it, Hachi, if you don't, it's not in my top 10. Okay, and I have a 2.5 in here. Okay,
Or 2.5.
in my rankings, I have a 2.5.
Interesting.
Yeah,
We ranked them from 1 to 5.
I ranked it from 1 to 10
same.
I just
because
put
we've only
them in
played.
list
I've only
of-
played 10 CODs.
I put them in a list of this is what I liked and these are the ones I did not like.
Okay,
I played 11.
That's what I said.
I have
I'll
a
tell you my
question.
top
All
three.
right, go ahead.
Let me just tell you my top 3. My top 3, number 1, we got COD 4. Number 2, we got Black Ops 3. Number 3, we got Black Ops 1. That's my top 3.
Wow, Black Ops 1.
Wow.
Sorry, what was your number 1, Hutch? COD 4?
COD 4.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
All right,
So
Jay,
I
go
have-
ahead. Okay, no, Diesel, go.
I have COD 2 number 1, Black Ops 1 number 2, COD 4 number 3.
Wait, what's your number 2?
Black Ops 1.
What? Okay, Jay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Very
Jay,
interesting.
go.
What's
All
the?
right, no-
We should establish also what the criteria is. Let's
I
go,
like
let's
it.
go down the
Personal
list
preference.
And then like,
Well, yeah, we'll go down the list and we'll come back and.
All right, so
There's
Jake, go ahead.
way that
Yeah.
cut. Sorry, excuse me. You're gonna have to edit that out. Timestamp.
All right. My number one is Call of Duty 2, and I'll explain that when we break it down. My number 2 is Modern Warfare 2, and my number 3 is COD 4.
All right, go over it again.
COD 2 is my number 1.
Okay.
Modern Warfare 2 is my number 2,
Okay.
and Call of Duty 4
Oh
is my number 3.
God. Okay.
I'm gonna vomit.
Same.
Vomit
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna
Yeah.
hit you. Here we go. Okay.
Good, because we all have different ones. This is good.
Well,
My-
we all have different reasons.
My
Yeah.
top 3, okay, is number 1 Call of Duty 4.
Mhm.
Number 2 is Modern Warfare 2. Number 2.5 is COD 2, and number 3 is Modern Warfare 3.
We asked for 3.
Well,
Pick
okay,
one.
come on.
Okay.
Let's do
If
top
we
3,
if we
bro.
can have things in here, I mean, what's wrong with you? Are you
Yeah,
12?
my
12?
3/4 one is like Black Ops 2.
See, now, now, I want all 3 of you to explain to me.
What?
Like-
Explain what?
Look, I loved COD 2, and
Yeah.
and COD 2 was on my top 5.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But to say that it's in your top 3 or your number 1, have you played COD
Yeah.
2 recently?
Yes.
Like go
Probably.
back
And that is
playing it.
yes, and that is the only reason why it's not number 1.
But
You know
have
what
you
I'm saying?
gone back and played Black Ops? Any of these other games? They're not
Yes.
fun to play
Yes.
unless the
Black
COD
Ops
4,
1?
COD 4, not the remastered version, is not fun to play.
You're
It's
nuts.
not. It
You're
does not
nuts.
play that well anymore.
Should we get into the
It's-
criteria of
The
why we picked what we
remastered
picked?
version plays better. It's the same game, but it
plays
plays.
the
It plays.
same. The hit detection was always stellar in Modern Warfare. Stellar. The best hit detection of any COD, basically, with the exception of maybe Modern Warfare 2.
I
Like
get
that-
why you're saying what you're saying about COD 2 totally. And I was going to say this in the text message thread before we actually launched the podcast that we should have a criteria about what we pick, so it's all
It's
similar.
personal
but
preference.
Yeah.
well, yeah, absolutely. But mine is, I'll get right into it if you guys don't mind. The reason I picked what I picked is because of the sentimental portions with it of
Mhm.
what was happening at OpTic at the time.
So what
And
how
what was
you
going on.
experienced the game at the time.
That's
is-
correct.
is-
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
why
well,
Ghost
that-
is so high in my entire list, and Ghost wasn't the greatest game. But
I
that's
have
the birth
Ghost
of
at number
Umu,
5.
So Ghost is my number 4.
I've ghosted 8.
All right, let's just go. Just give me a Diesel. Give me a rundown of your top 10. Just
All
go. Top 10.
COD 2, Black Ops 1, COD 4, Ghost, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, World at War, Advanced Warfare, IW, COD 3.
Oh my god. I didn't even. But COD 3 didn't even make my list. Hutch, go ahead. Your full 10.
So number 4 was COD 2, number 5 was World at War, number 6 was Ghost, number 7 was Advanced Warfare, number 8 was Modern Warfare 3, and number 9 was Modern Warfare 2. I'm not even gonna count COD 3.
Why Modern Warfare 2 so low in your list?
Because it's ass. It is,
One man
but you're
army
saying
and all that.
update.
Tar Scars and ACRs.
Look, I never played it 4v4
Sorry,
competitive
sorry.
settings. Maybe if I had, then it would be a little bit higher because that's the only reason why
Yeah.
Ghost was as high as it was for me. Is
Yeah,
because I
same.
did have a little bit of fun playing 4v4, but pubs in that game to me not fun, and like
And they didn't
the-
update it either.
I
They didn't
stopped.
fix it.
I think I can't even remember the last COD game that I played and actually had fun playing pubs.
I play all of them. I play all of them.
Not
I mean,
me.
I even played a little bit.
I
of
always do it
Modern
first, and then it trails off. And
I
I'm ready
think
for
Modern
battle.
Warfare 3 was the last
game
time I
battles.
really played a pub like nonstop, and that's because I was making YouTube videos. But I do remember like really diving into multiplayer with a sniper rifle.
So let's talk a little bit
terrible.
about.
Well, let
why
me give you mine. Shh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I
let's
got to
hear
give you mine too.
COD 4, Modern Warfare 2 / COD 2 because it's even for me right there.
No,
okay, sentimental value in that.
It's your
Nope.
fourth and third.
Yeah, third
Continue.
and fourth. Thank you.
Okay, fine, whatever. And then there's no IW in this list. Then okay, so COD 4, Modern Warfare 2, COD 2, Modern Warfare 3, Blops 2, Ghost, Black Ops 3, AW, Black Ops 1, World at War, and Infinite Warfare. And that's only because
Interesting.
I didn't even
Black
play
Ops
it.
3. It's kind of far. All right, my top 10. COD 2 is number 1. Modern Warfare 2, Call of Duty 4, Black Ops 3, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, Advanced Warfare, Ghosts, World at War, Modern Warfare 3, Infinite Warfare, and then COD 3, which we decided to not count.
Advanced Warfare over Ghosts, or I'm sorry, over wait, what was it? Yeah, Ghosts.
I had Advanced Warfare a little bit
Black
before
Ops
Ghosts.
3.
Actually, that's a good catch. I meant to have Ghosts in front of that, and I wrote it wrong here, or I inserted the cell wrong.
Mike, you and Hector didn't like Black Ops 3? I thought
Black
Ops
Ops.
3
I
was
love that
great.
game.
Black
man.
Ops 3 is
That was
number
a great game.
6.
Black Ops 3 is number 6 for me.
Same.
I have it at 4. It's in my
Yeah,
top
It
5.
was the only jetpack game that I liked. The other
Same.
two were the
Well,
first.
the other one.
AW was too much.
Mhm.
It was way too much going on.
Yeah.
IW I don't like it.
I still haven't played it after the charity.
I played the beta with Hutch. I've never played an actual public match of the full game for IW. It's the first
Neither have
game I've only played the campaign, and I'd never touched the multiplayer in any Call of Duty since COD 2.
Let me
Same
pose
here.
this question to all of you, though. Had Modern Warfare Remastered not dropped, do you think you would have given it a chance? Because it's the only thing
No.
that's being played.
I think we
No.
would have been playing
Yes.
Black Ops 3.
We wouldn't have had a
I
choice.
think-
It would have been a
No, I think we would have gone back to Black Ops 3 or something.
So
That's
do
a
I.
good point too. We've done that before.
The IW just felt kind of like it just felt kind of uninspired. It just felt like
Yeah.
it just felt like Black Ops, like they saw what was going on, or maybe they were privy to what Treyarch was developing with Black Ops 3, because you know how they start these like 3 years before.
3 years, yeah.
So you know,
Yeah.
obviously they share information with each other, so they know what they're each team is going to be bringing to the table. Although I'm sure they're still very competitive with each other to this day. But like Black Ops 3, it just felt like, okay, well, we messed up so bad with Ghost. Let's just see what Treyarch is doing and do what they do.
Mhm.
That's what it felt like to me. That's probably a gross
That's what
oversimplification
IW is,
of
yeah,
the
yeah.
process. I don't want to be disrespectful to the artists, the graphic
Of
artists, and
course.
the conceptual designers, because I know they put in a
Yeah.
lot of work. It's
Yeah.
it's a hard job, but from a consumer standpoint, it just felt kind of uninspired. And I'm
I-
happy to. It made me ready to
It
go
just
back to
felt
World
like-
War
It
II.
just felt like the same game to me. Like
I
it didn't-
think
it felt like an expansion, if you could call it that. It didn't feel like anything. It didn't move the needle anywhere. It
I
just- we
think
just
I think you
sat
can
for
I
another
think
year.
you can be very, very harsh on the multiplayer without offending the beauty that was the story mode. Because
Yeah.
it was a good
Campaign
story.
was great. I
That's-
played the crap out of it. I
Did you
loved
play
it.
it?
I watched it.
I loved it.
I watched
loved
it. I didn't play it. I watched it.
It was a
I'm
lot
gonna
of
I'm gonna
fun.
watch it. Make it faster.
Jon Snow's the bad guy.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Conor McGregor's in it.
Yeah.
Does he do the
it's
arm
fun.
thing?
It's fun. It was a fun campaign.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's good to know.
You liked Advanced Warfare's campaign too.
Yeah, that was good. I played Advanced Warfare's campaign.
I didn't.
It
I
had,
watched it.
What's the guy from House of Cards?
Come
Kevin
on.
Spacey.
Him.
Come on.
That's
Frederick
The, yeah.
Frederick Underwood,
yeah.
aka FU.
No,
Frederick.
Francis.
Frank.
Francis. What did I say?
Yeah.
Frederick?
Well,
Is
it's
it
Francis,
Frederick?
but they call him
Francis. FU.
That all works.
FU.
So let's talk about why our number ones are our number ones. Because Hutch you're running into some hiccups of why COD 2 is so high on our list.
Yeah.
Hutch.
It's because
And,
Modern Warfare is
Holy
such a better.
Pardon
such a
me.
better game.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Do you want me to kick it off?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, so Call of Duty 2 for me is the most significant because OpTic is a significant part of my life, and that's the game where OpTic was born, and that's where I met all of you guys, minus Hutch, who I met in Modern Warfare 2. But that's where I met Diesel, Hex. That's the game where I could think about nothing else. Where I'd rush home from college. I was still in college at the time.
Did you pull
to
out your
play?
pistol to do that?
I pulled out my pistol to do that. It wouldn't matter what I was doing. All I wanted to do was play matches. And matches, it didn't seem like they were in abundance because of the website we were playing on. But that's when like we'd hang out on the Xbox forums, the NX Gamers forums. That's when we'd be getting for matches. That's when I'd call up Hex and tell him to get on to ref matches. That's when we had our first OpTic LAN event where me, Hex, and a guy named Carlton competed. Deese was actually there for that. There's just so much that goes into it. That's just barely scratching the surface, right? All of the different, memories of it.
And it was like the first. It was I mean, okay, definitely not the first because Halo had been around and they had been doing online shooters for a while. But as far as next gen went, when the 360 came out, that was like the game.
The game, yeah.
Mhm.
There were other games that were okay. Like I remember there was like a Far Cry game or something like that. But you guys know, like
Right.
launch titles back then usually took like 6 months or a year before the good games really started to come out.
Right.
But that game it ran smooth. Like that was the big thing.
Mhm.
Like it ran
pretty.
so smooth.
Yeah.
And yeah, at the time it was
Right.
gorgeous. I remember I lived down the street from this video game shop, and they would let you walk into the video game shop and then rent time on the big screen TV playing. It was $5 an hour. And because of me, they started selling cigarettes at the shop. Like, energy drinks. They let me run a tab. and I would end up running like a $200 or $300 tab every 2 weeks,
My
and I was not
goodness.
making a lot of money. You know, I could
This is Waiter Hutch still at the time?
This is Waiter Hutch, yeah.
Okay.
And
Wow.
I didn't want to stop playing to take the time to save the money to just buy a console. So I just kept on running up these tabs.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm right there with you. The game has a soft spot in my heart.
Yep.
Definitely a lot of nostalgia wrapped in it. But
That's
if we're
awesome,
talking about
Hutch.
what's a better game,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's
I
really tough
totally
to
see
beat
you
Modern
doing
Warfare.
All right, Hutch, what's yours, Hutch?
What's Modern Warfare? You and me are on the same page,
Yeah. Okay.
right? You
Do
said
you want?
said
Yeah.
that was
COD
number
4. Yeah.
one.
Why?
It was just, I mean, like the maps, the guns, the connection, the fact that for the young people that are listening to this, you also have to put it in the context that at the time, World War II shooters were, I mean, the whole market was inundated with shooters.
Yeah.
That's all we had.
World War II shooters. And there was like
Right.
5 or 6 or 7 different studios making consistent franchises or entries into the series, and it was just, I mean, the definition of saturated. So finally, when this game came out, it was like an M16. I can put a red dot on it. You know,
Yeah.
it was mind blowing at the time. I went to great lengths to get a 360 just so I could play that game.
What sort of lengths,
And-
Hutch?
Man, I
Did
mean,
you
I
sell your
remember the
body
night-
is
I
my
remember,
question.
I remember the night that I got it. It's a similar kind of story, but like my buddy was, I had to I didn't have a car at the time, and so I had to I bought it, and then I realized that I had only the HD cables, so I ran all the way to Target, which was like a half mile away, to see if I could find the SD cords, you know, the auxiliary
ones,
cables,
right?
Yeah.
the yellow,
Yeah.
the yellow,
Yeah,
red,
yeah.
and it ended up being like a 4-hour running from this place to the next with no car, and then I get home and I didn't even have the right cables, so I was like heartbroken. But then once I got them, I just never stopped playing that game.
Yeah.
And
How
that's
long did
what
it take you to get
launched-
them once you realized they were wrong?
Wait. So when did you play
Probably
COD 2 then? Oh, at the store.
at that spot. Yeah, that's how I got my introduction. That's how I started sniping.
Yeah.
And then I found Grizz's videos on YouTube, and I was like, oh my god, I got to do that.
Yeah.
That's an awesome story, dude.
All right, Diesel, and then I'll go last, or I can go. Let me go. So COD 4, same reason as Hutch. The as he said, there was a whole bunch of World War II games, bolt actions, and all that. And I was almost done with it, but this refresh of a new game with modern guns, even the Claymore stuff, like all the little extra stuff that came into play, kind of like made me fall back in deeper love, if anything, with Call of Duty, because I have the same sentimental, reasons that Jay did. It was my first ever introduction to multiplayer. I can tell you my exact feelings, the exact map. Like it was St. Miracles. We were in the courtyard where the graves are. When some dude's like, "Hex, come this way," and I'm like, "No, you're gonna kill me." And just thinking about that, just thinking about that, like made me be like, "Holy crap, this is awesome." The following game, I accidentally went into free for all, and I was standing next to an enemy, obviously, and not that he was on my team because he was wearing the same thing I was. And then he turns around, and I'm like, "Yo, where are they?" And then he turns around, looks at me, and kills me. And I was like, what's going on? And then I realized, I'm like, why doesn't he have the same flag as I do on his head? And then I'm like, oh, this is everybody versus everybody. And then little by little, so all that, right? First introduction to multiplayer. First time I heard a different voice in my headset. That made me like fall in love. The first time I fell in love with sniping was also in St. Miracles. I was looking towards Broken House from the house next to St. Miracles, towards the church. And before the dude got out of my sight, I killed him, and I was like, holy crap, just sniped the crap out of this dude. That was the first moment I fell in love with sniping. So yes, I the only reason I didn't put COD 2 at the number one is because I left feelings out of this, and I just went straight to the game that made me feel a certain way, and just mechanics.
I had
and
a
stuff.
feeling out of this, but I went to a game that made me feel a certain way.
Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? Like, no, yeah, this is mine, Jason. Okay.
And it was like the first time that, in COD 2 you never ranked up. Like all the classes were
Right.
preset.
But you could
couldn't-
play
couldn't
ranked, it
cause-
just didn't mean anything.
You could play ranked, but I'm saying like you couldn't.
Yeah.
You didn't unlock new items or anything like
That's
that.
right,
And there was
that's right.
Yeah.
and there was no customization. And this is back then. YouTube was a thing, but it
But we
wasn't.
didn't even know what we didn't even know what customization was in COD 2. We didn't
Right.
even know it was something we
Yeah,
wanted.
Right.
We
kind of-
had,
you kind
we
of
had no
built it
idea
up.
we had no idea any of these things were things that
When we played that game competitively, this is important to note, I think, about COD 2, while on the subject, is that when you would pick a map of what map you're going to play, because back then they weren't randomly generating maps for you, like NX Gamers, for example, you would pick a map, then the other team would pick a map. But your next choice would mean everything because you only had access to certain guns if you chose Axis or Allies, right?
Yeah.
And so on some maps, you'd want to have the M1 Grand.
So it was
or
a lot of strategy,
yeah,
like Counter Strike.
a lot of it, yeah.
There was a lot of just like the map picks and
Totally.
things like that.
You
There was a
could
lot
pick
that
up
went into it.
nades. If somebody
Yeah.
died with a nade, you can pick that
Right.
up, and that would change the
Yeah.
outcome of the game. Anyway, so Call of Duty 4, same reasons as such. Diesel, why was COD 2 your number one?
Cut to the same, like a lot of the same things. I got an Xbox. I had never played games much prior to Xbox 360. Then waited in line for during the launch. It was like 40 degrees in Florida, and anybody who lives in Florida knows nobody in Florida owns clothes for 40-degree weather. So it was terrible. There was a guy out there with a bandolier belt full of shot glasses. I was like 18, and he was giving people shots of tequila to keep everybody warm. Some guy was watching Monday Night Football on this little portable TV. I remember like so vividly. And I wait in line. I get Call of Duty 2 and I get Madden. Those are the two games I get. My friend gets an Xbox. We play Madden together. That's the first time either one of us had dealt with multiplayer. And then I find it on Call of Duty, jump into it, and then it just blows up.
They
And
didn't
then
have a beta for COD 2, did they?
No
No,
way.
because
It was
the
a
game
launch
came
game. It was
out-
a launch game.
Yeah, you couldn't have played it prior because
Yeah.
there's no 360s. It came
Okay,
out
yeah.
the day that the 360 came out was the day you could get COD 2.
Did you guys play in the COD 4 beta? I did not.
I did.
missed
I
out on
I
that.
don't
we-
remember.
we
if
all
I
did. We
Did
all
we?
did. Yeah, we all did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you all just lose
Yeah.
your minds? Like, oh,
We did because we were playing
my
against
God.
Nerve. Remember, Nerve had just
Yes,
started
I did.
his new
Plus
clan.
another big thing for like another big thing for like Hex J and I is at that point we had been playing Call of Duty 2 for 3.5 years, and for a game that doesn't have, like we were talking about, prestige
3.5 years? No, it would have been two.
was- it
it
Two
was-
and a half, something like
two and
that.
a half. It was almost 3 years we were playing the
It's
same
almost
game
too long.
Yeah.
that does not have a ton of maps. It doesn't have a ranking system. It doesn't really have a leaderboard. It doesn't have anything. So we're just playing very bare bones with nothing
Yeah.
other than game battles matches at the time. So we were ready for something new, and I think that's why COD 4 is so high on everybody's list. Is because it was just holy crap. This is all brand new. It was completely different.
Right.
I want to talk about how is Modern Warfare 3 so high for you, Hector? Like, what was it on? What
Sniping.
rank was it on your list?
Number 3 or number 4. Better than
The
better.
ma- the
Black
those
Ops.
Intervention, right?
Black
It's
Ops-
hands down the
Intervention?
most
No.
ugly, awful maps
Yes.
in any Call of Duty.
Yes,
was in Modern Warfare
it was
3.
disgusting.
Yeah.
It was monotone. It was all gray. It was like living in downpour. Every single map was downpour without the rain. It was
Yes.
disgusting. The graphics
Yeah.
were gross. Everything about it, but the sniping was nice, man. And
It
that
just felt so cartoony to me.
it was. It was no. It 1000% was. It 1000% was. But I enjoyed it at the time. Was a really like big part of like Call of Duty Esports because it was the first time that they held an international event. So for me,
Okay,
like in
alright,
in the sense of like my whole life, like it was a very important time because not only was I playing it,
Yeah.
but I was also like spectating the fruit like blossoming into like what was gonna be what it is today. So
Modern
that's why.
Warfare 3 had one thing to me that I thought they did really right, which I'm so pissed that none of the other studios do it anymore. But the Specialist Strike package to me was so fun. Like when you played Free for
Yeah.
All and you got that 7-kill streak and you had every
Yeah.
perk in the game.
Oh,
my
yeah.
God, it was
I
so
never got it. I was always rushing.
frustrating because I would always
My
die
lists are
after
a
I
lot
got
different
it,
than
but-
you guys as well because I was still doing like competitive for all these. So I wasn't pubbing very much.
Mhm.
So the
You
four
did competitive at Modern
experiences-
Warfare 3?
Modern Warfare 3 I did.
Yes, that Modern Warfare
That's where I
2 was the
stopped.
last one. And
I
that's
stopped.
what brought in a team.
You stopped, yeah.
I thought we brought in Nate Shot. Did we bring him in 2 or 3?
Two.
All right, then that's when I stopped.
Yeah.
So up into that point, like pubs weren't a thing for me.
Right.
So
Can we talk about the going from COD 4 to World at War and how that pissed me off? So much
I
that
didn't
did
like
that.
World at War.
Me neither. That's why I put it so low.
I stayed on COD 4 and
Same.
still stayed competitive and did game
Same.
battles because the game battles like ladders never died for COD 4 with World at War coming out.
My
They were still up before Modern Warfare Remastered came out. I checked. You'd see like 5 matches a day on there.
Like, why would Treyarch make that decision though? Like once you brought
They
it
could have
back
been
to
too
Modern-
much.
Too-
They could
at
have
that
been
point, they
too
were
deep
2
in the
years.
sauce,
Yeah, they're
you
2
know?
years behind because those two studios, so 2 years, 3 studios, 3 years, right? Is how long they have to make the games. I think the World at War for me wasn't that great. I love the Arasaka. I hated that they changed the. Oh, I hated the way that the Car 98 looked in comparison to my baby and Call of
Didn't
Duty.
sound right.
Yeah,
so-
it looks
was all
skinny
about-
and weird.
The Arasaka was dope, even though it had like the big like sun, like the rising sun at the like on your screen.
Yeah, yeah.
But it
Yeah.
also like it heightened the user's need to use Juggernaut. So Juggernaut MP44, right?
Oh,
That was a killer for me, because not only did I already hate it in Call of Duty 4, and I was one of those guys who's like, man, I hope that the next game they don't have Juggernaut. I hope that the next game doesn't have Juggernaut. You know how we're asking things to not
Yeah.
bring on same thing, but I was like, I hope they don't bring that Juggernaut, and it's like one of the most
Yeah.
important perks in World at
Yeah.
War. So
Yeah.
Right.
And
Right.
the airstrike in that game was just awful.
Mhm.
You remember how it
Right.
sounded? And then like if it landed near you, it would slow you down. You would be kind of like frozen in. Can you
Oh,
stop doing
yeah,
that?
all the
I'm
shell
just
shock
reminding
type
you. I'm
stuff.
just trying to make it an immersive
But
thing
just
for the
as-
audience.
Just as annoying, actually.
But talk about like sort of like what we were talking about before when I said that I thought Infinite Warfare felt a little uninspired and sort of copied
Mhm.
Black Ops 3. That was the same feeling I got with World of War, but it was like a downgrade. Like they copied like a lot of the perks and a lot of the same sort of mechanics from COD 4, but then they tried to like shoehorn it into World War 2, and it just felt sort of I was like, I played the crap out of that game for a long time, but
Uh-huh.
after a while I'm like,
I feel like another thing
can't
that
do
has
this.
that has it so high is zombies, and I've never been that big of a zombies fan.
oh,
We
yeah.
should have been,
and I
though. It's
and
so
I
fun.
and I love zombie just period movies, literature, everything. I love
I mean, you're
zombie
sleep- yeah, yeah.
tattoos.
Yeah.
Like, but zombie
Yeah.
city, and that's wave games. I don't like it. I don't like Horde and Gears of War. I don't like zombie. I can't just sit there and do the same mundane thing over and over and over again.
Mhm.
But
So
you
you're not
played
open to
Destiny
doing
with me
it?
for like
Yeah, but it's
Like
not.
a
It's
year.
not. But it's not. That's not the same thing. It doesn't play the same.
yeah, well,
way.
we would do the same
No,
strike.
Exactly.
It's pretty
thing.
fun though.
But
So Mike,
it's mentally it doesn't. You could do it multiple different ways. It doesn't
You
have the
get
same
new
vibe to
items
me.
and
It's
stuff,
not. It's not just wave.
you
it's
wouldn't be
not-
open
I-
to doing it as Umu doing like a zombie session
Of
or anything
course.
on the
Yeah, I'm sure he would.
If everybody else is doing it, I
The,
would do
the
it.
question
I
is,
think
is
we
Hex
should.
gonna do it?
It wouldn't be something that I would be like, let's do this once a
either.
week.
Yeah.
It'd be like a special Umu does zombies kind of thing. I wouldn't want it to become.
What if World War II zombies is just phenoms?
Bro, I mean, every
It's
single
gonna be the same
zombie
thing.
game,
It's
every single
zombies.
zombie game that I've heard of is amazing. Like Treyarch does a really good job at like doing the puzzles, the
fun,
Easter eggs,
man.
and all that. I get it; it's amazing. It's just not something that interests.
It's too complicated now.
I
Yeah.
wanna,
It's just-
I wanna
it's
beat a
not-
human
the
brain.
Easter eggs.
It doesn't do anything for me, so I don't want to play it.
It does get you excited. I get it. And Hutch is right. Black Ops 3 Zombies was very complicated. I had someone walk me through it, and I would have never
you
figured it
gotta have,
out
like,
without a
Sherpa
video.
Take you through whenever it's a new map.
Yeah.
Now. I don't like
Yeah.
it. It's
Right.
not my cup of tea. I really like this simple. I can figure it out on the first setting. Zombies. That's just
Yeah.
I don't need.
Right.
I don't need a big thing.
I don't
So
know. I'm
yeah,
the
so
same
coming
way.
off the heels of World of War, so when they finally, you remember that first trailer that dropped for Modern Warfare 2? Like, oh man,
Yes.
I don't.
you don't remember that?
No.
Oh man,
Didn't have like a bunch of celebrities in it. Was
I
that
don't
the
know, it was
celebrity
like-
one?
they kind of did it like a one shot through favela,
That
and
was
you
Modern
had a
Warfare 3, Mike.
Okay.
you had a guy like walking with a riot shield. Like they showed it off in a
Yeah.
really
Oh,
On
And it was
Favela.
like-
It was on Favela.
throwing
Yeah.
knives. Oh, dude, that was
yeah.
so cool. And now that you say like that, it reinforces why Modern Warfare 2 for me was at number 2/3.
Same.
The
I remember when the
skeleton-
game
the
came
skeleton of a great game was there, but they just
Yeah.
didn't take care of
Played,
it.
No,
it played
of
really
course.
well in 4 for us. I
They had
liked
enough.
it in
They
4.
had enough of a team to drop like 2 map packs, but they didn't have enough. They didn't have the team to just fix one man army. Like, how hard would that have been? It's not like they didn't see the complaints.
Well, it's kind of like when Activision started going down the let's just,
Don't give me
drop
that.
things.
That's
Well, they were
nonsense.
fighting, right? They were fighting amongst
happened.
themselves. Now, wait. So are we all in agreement that the top 3? Wait, which? Let's go over it again because my top 3: COD 4, Modern Warfare 2, and COD 2.
No,
Anybody
Modern
else?
Warfare 2 was last for me. Dead last, my friend.
Jeez.
Next to Modern Warfare 3 was my second to last place one.
Jeez.
That's how
Wow,
much I
really?
hate
My
those two
bottom
entries,
3 are
yeah.
COD 3, IW, AW. Those are my bottom 3.
My
My
bottom
bottom 3. Go ahead, X.
Black Ops 1, WoW, World at War, and IW, and that's only because I didn't play IW.
Mine are
Welcome.
Modern Warfare 3, Infinite Warfare and COD 3.
Black Ops 1?
And
you
actually,
it's
I actually had
just
Black
'cause of
Ops 1 in the wrong place. Black Ops 2 is my second, not Black Ops 1.
Okay. Okay.
You like Black Ops 2 more than Black Ops 1?
Yeah. Oh hell yeah.
I liked it because it introduced League Play, and with League Play, that gave like a public.
How?
Yeah.
How?
And that was awesome, and nobody has just copy what they did and just put it in the game. Why is nobody been able to do it since?
Can I go on a rant about this? Look, everybody's
Go.
always saying, you know, we need to bring the casual player into, you know, become more competitive, right? The casual player is all about getting prestigious. It's all about like getting the levels, getting level up, people take pride in that. And I came up with this answer to like talking to Vonderhaar, okay? I said, all you need to do is give up that IP of how the rank system works and allow your rank from that, whether you're masters or whatever, bring that with you everywhere you go. Bring that badge everywhere, whether you're silver, gold, or whatever it was. Bring that with you everywhere you go. If you go in a public lobby, you're going to see that you're a prestige level 10, and somebody's going to be like, whoa, what is that master's thing next to you? What does that mean? And then they're going to be like, all right, they're going to do research, and they're going to be like, oh, I need that. I want that because I don't have that. So people are going to immediately go and try to play. And they're going to be like, holy crap, this is a little bit more structured. I can't use the usual cheese that I can use in these in public matches, and I'll have to play differently. And I'm playing against the best. There's actually like, this is a thing. The competition is a thing.
That would be good. Actually, yeah, that would be good.
That's all you need to do.
When you play League of Legends, Jay, and in just a pickup match, does it actually show you what the ranked player what they are in actual ranked matches?
Yeah, you can see that. You can see it now pre-game lobby.
And what about Counter Strike?
if
Does
you're on the
Counter Strike
friends
do the
list.
same thing? If you're just playing
You
like
can't see their ranks.
You can't see?
You can't see their ranks until after the game is done.
But I'm saying I'm not saying in competitive games, but
when you come in,
even in just the pickup games that aren't in the rank, can you see the rank at the end of the game?
I've seen videos where people recognize
I just played against, you know, these gold 3 or whatever.
It'll show you at the end of the game. But
There's websites too. You can look at stuff. So enter their username.
Didn't AW have a ranked playlist? And they have like
trash.
It was trash.
It was trash. Nobody played it. Everybody was able to back out. There's no penalties. There's no actual ranking system.
Yeah.
It was.
No, they had a ranking system, but they just
but it was not good. It was not Black Ops 2 good, bro. Black Ops 2, like they solved the problem. They made it a good one, right? Penalties if you backed out early. Even you hated even getting disconnected when it was not your fault. They solved the problem, right? In Black Ops 2, they solved it, and they could have solved the way to introduce casuals into that. But the fear of cross-pollination and putting something in front of them that they don't necessarily like was like too much for them to take a risk on. But then we can take a risk on verticality? Like, why? Well, where's the logic in that? Now we're 3 years.
Black Ops 1 was actually the one that introduced. They didn't have a full-blown ranked playlist on the level of Black Ops 2, but they introduced it in Black Ops 1. They brought Fwiz in actually, and he helped consult with them to get the
I was actually sitting next to Vonderhaar. It's the first time Vonderhaar went to a competitive match. I was sitting next to Vonderhaar. Jay and I were giving him the explanation how everything went down, and I remember sitting there and then him saying, it's like, hey, why do people like spin around when you're defusing the bomb? And then we said, it's like, well, duh, because you don't hear the bomb being defused. And then he's like, oh, I'm gonna patch that. And I was like, whoa, you didn't, it wasn't us. You didn't hear from me. We were just explaining stuff. Yeah. But I remember him
days when he would nerf everything.
Yeah,
but everything got nerfed.
But it was good, man, because I remember seeing him fall in love with competitive gaming because he like I was sitting next to him. He's like, yeah, look at that animation. But he saw people cheering for something that he had created, right?
Yeah.
And immediately he got this like passion for it. So, you know, next game that he drops is like the best competitive game that has come out because he solved the problem. And I don't understand what the problem is with Activision and why there's so many. And I don't know if this is true, but why don't they share? Like the resource, why doesn't Infinity Ward share resources with Treyarch? Vice versa.
They do.
But do they though? Why don't we have rank size then? Touch.
Well, they're not obligated to take every piece of the game.
Why wasn't another thing? Why isn't that kind of ranking system in Black Ops 3? What happened that?
True.
I know Vaughn was probably like, "Hey, I want it in the game. Why did it have to get cut out? Why is
it?" Black Ops 3 had a ranked playlist.
It didn't. Did it?
I don't think it had nothing
Black Ops 3 had a ranked playlist,
but it's nothing like Black Ops 2.
It was nothing like Black Ops 2. Can you imagine that?
There's an easy answer to this, and that is, as much as you guys liked the ranked playlist, and as much as a lot of people on YouTube liked it, it just probably wasn't that populated. and they're not going to devote a bunch of resources into like tuning a
But they're-
playlist that
but-
not enough people play. They're just not going to do it.
Hmm.
You need like if you guys could pull your resources and populate the living hell out of these playlists when they come out, then they'll stay alive. But if
Yeah.
there's less than 5% of the players playing it, or less than 2%, they're just not gonna. Why would they devote that many resources?
I mean, they have. Come on. I mean, how many people are playing Call of Duty?
I mean, this is in a time of esports for Call of Duty. Like, period. They have $1 million competitions and spend.
Well,
this
you're
is
right about that.
millions and millions
The
and
different
millions.
landscape,
for
the
sure.
landscape has changed, and I think that they could capitalize on it. You're right
even
about that.
even if they did something where it's like the top, they have some qualifier from league play and just like one team in. I don't care. You can. There's ways they could spin it
No.
to let somebody into a qualifier or something like that.
Yeah,
You
I don't
get a
know
spot in the
because
qualifier.
people were
You
cheating
get put
and
it, you
shit.
get
like,
put in the winners.
was
It
not-
doesn't matter. That team's gonna get knocked out when it comes down to it. That team's not gonna compete.
Yeah, but you're taking away an opportunity from somebody who wouldn't get knocked out because these people have better internet or whatever. I don't think the online qualifiers have ever been a good idea, and I don't think that they should ever bring that back. But let's get away from that because I can sit here for hours just complaining and trying to improve something that they're now doing a really good job at it now. Like the CWO LAN is going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
Looking back at where we were to where we're at now, like it's a completely different landscape. We're going in the right thing. But as I look in my background, I see that my number one, because I have the original Call of Duty 4 poster, and my number 2 is like in the same place. You know what? I'm gonna move Call of Duty 2 up there with COD 4, so I have a 1.5.
Jesus Christ! You have a 1.5, a 3.5.
No,
so
no,
what
just
else?
1.5. No more 0.5s. COD 4 is my number 1, and then 1.5 is COD 2.
So you just said you don't
What?
have any more 0.5s, and you just
Yeah.
added a 0.5.
No, because I
Just
moved
what's your real top 3, bro? Just say your real top 3.
COD 4, COD 2, Modern Warfare 2.
Okay, that's
There you
it.
go.
Okay,
There you
that's
go.
good.
That's
Great
your
list.
So terrible.
three. Done.
2/3 of that list. 2/3 of that list makes sense.
That list is trash.
I like
Yeah.
talking Call of Duty with you guys. It's fun.
Same. And you know what's weird is that when we decided to make the podcast, I immediately thought, I'm like, man, we see each other every single day. We talk to each other every single day. Are we going to be able to carry a conversation like on
Right.
something else? And immediately, like as soon as we got started, I'm like, yeah, because we don't have anything distracting us from having a discussion, right? We don't have
Hutcher on a snipe.
me dropping a breadstick.
Jay crouching everywhere.
Oh,
With
I'm watching all the time.
with extreme conditioning, mind you.
And
Why?
yeah, and in our next podcast, we're going to talk about the Republicans' plan to repeal and replace Obamacare and the pluses and minuses of the
We will
ACHA.
never do that.
I don't
think
on
we will
any
ever do that.
podcast,
I
ever.
think. Listen, I think there's a place for it. If we can give you 10 minutes, or if we can give ourselves 10 minutes to discuss politics, I think the people
I
would
would like to
welcome
see
it.
the analytics of how many times those 10 minutes are skipped.
Yeah, but does it immediately cut off at 10 minutes? Like, is there an air horn that someone presses?
Yes.
and
Yeah.
then
It's
we're
called
done?
muting
Like,
Hutch.
I wish in my
It's called muting Hutch.
in my fantasy world, those kind of conversations would take place with the same amount of regularity and the same amount of passion that conversations about video games take place. That's
You're a
just
great
my
guy,
fantasy
Hutch.
world. It's never going to
Yeah.
be the world that I live in, but that's my fantasy world.
Hutch, why don't
I
you have a political podcast? I can tell you one thing. You know how
Yeah.
you were
It's
able
just
to
too
get
much of
Daniel.
a
No, but look,
pain in the ass,
you-
man. Because
yeah,
like you put
PR
yourself
people.
out there like that, and all of a sudden you got 50 million people trying to dox you, and I'm just not into it. It's just I'll talk about it on Twitter, but
So maybe that's why other people of this world, this utopian world you just preached, is why people don't talk about it because they don't want to deal with the ramifications of having their opinion out there,
Boom.
well,
which other people won't
most
like.
people don't run like social media and video streaming sites as their job. You know what I mean? Like
Sure.
Right.
Yeah, it's not that is their job, but still, everybody's connected to the internet.
I like
nowadays.
how
if you have
easy-
a shitty post on Facebook with your friends, there might be somebody out there that gets shared to, and they're just like, F
bro,
that
don't
person.
get me started on Facebook, bro. Okay? I just got into a semi argument with another person of Mexican descent that posted a video about why Americans celebrate Cinco de Mayo, and I was like, well, like we celebrate like St. Patty's Day, like everybody's Irish. Why do we care so much, right? If it's a positive thing, people are hanging out, getting drunk, and having a good time, as long as they're not hurting anybody else, what does it matter,
Yeah.
right? But I
Did you
guess
see-
So this person was anti Cinco de Mayo. He thought he wasn't into it.
I think there were more.
anti-white people say.
No. Let me rephrase. I think they were more into anti-Trumpsters celebrating it by
Yeah, yeah.
perpetuating the
It seemed hypocritical, basically, is what he's getting at. Right?
Yeah, well, them, yeah, but me,
Yeah,
I was more like I'm Irish, in March, like is that offensive? Is that offensive to some Irish people? Like maybe, they're not leprechauns, and that's all you like. Put there's no, you know what I'm saying? Like let's chill. There's bigger things to worry about, like global warming. Hutch.
Hutch, who was the guy that you retweeted and he had made some type of joke that he thought was actually funny about Cinco de
Oh
Mayo?
God.
What was that? What was that about again? Governor something?
Former Governor Mike Huckabee,
Yeah.
former presidential candidate as well. He made the stupidest tweet I've ever seen.
What was it? Hit me.
He's basically saying he's going to speak Spanish all day, drink a bunch of salsa.
It's like,
and
I'm
whatever.
gonna drink nothing but hot salsa, speak nothing but Spanish, and watch Speedy Gonzalez
yeah.
Jesus.
Speedy Gonzalez
Why
episodes
did-
every day, and then he ends it with Happy Cinco de Mayo, and he makes those kind of jokes on the regular, and he thinks he is hilarious.
Does he even
That's
know that
not
his
funny.
tweet was retweeted and kind of went viral in a sense? And is
He
thinking
doesn't
like people
care.
love
Like
it?
he loves pissing people off. Like he loves pissing people off, and he thinks he's funny. So
That was a bad joke. I'm okay
It was
with
a horrible joke.
I am okay with offensive jokes as long as they're like creative and make me like be like, all right, that took some thought. I get it. But Speedy
getting tricky in
Gonzalez, come on.
2017.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Drinking hot sauce. I mean, you could just insert tacos or burritos or something like that, and then a
Yeah.
better show, like La Bamba or something.
Do you
Okay.
remember?
I mean,
All right.
Do you remember Trump's? do you remember Trump's Cinco de Mayo tweet from last year?
Yeah, him
No.
eating a taco
I love
bowl.
Hispanics.
Oh yeah. He's eating a taco
That's
bowl.
what he
or
did?
Something.
Yeah.
He's eating a
He
taco
eats a taco bowl.
salad or
Yeah,
something.
Trump Tower has the best taco bowls. I love Hispanics, and then it's just,
So good.
All right. Let's not get into it. I think this is a good stopping point for the first episode. Don't expect it always to be about Call of Duty, guys. We're gonna be here having fun, just shooting the shit as we usually do, but in a more formal way, with nothing else to interrupt us besides ourselves. Anything
I
else
think
you
we
guys want
should
to say?
talk about. I think we should talk about sample sizes on the next one.
I'm down for that.
All right.
Yeah, we should hash it out publicly.
So the next podcast is just going to be Diesel and I talking about something good. These guys that I'm not going to show you. Any closing comments you guys want to say before? Don't feel forced to. Don't feel forced.
It's good to be back, and then leave something in the comments and let us know if you have some topics you would like to hear us talk about. Maybe
And this
maybe
will be weekly.
Maybe we'll
too.
pick one. Upvote what you want to see in the comments. and
When-
maybe
when's this
maybe
going
we'll
up?
talk about it.
When's this going up?
To Monday, Tuesday.
The 10th, whatever the 10th is.
Yeah.
It might be worth it to tell people that Hector, you're traveling next week, as are you. So there
I'm
won't be
traveling Monday and Tuesday.
Okay, so there basically won't be any Umu until probably Friday at the earliest.
I return on Thursday. I will be in a different country till then.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's there. You guys have it. So yeah, thank you for tuning in. If you guys enjoyed it, please remember to leave a thumbs up. I ask that you do rate the video, because if you guys want to see more of it, obviously that'll encourage us to be on time and be diligent and disciplined about making the podcast happen.
Well, we're committing to weekly right now on video.
Yeah, but what day during the week?
And we'll figure it out. We'll figure that out. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you guys on the next one.